Why do smart people view markets so differently? This video pits two philosophies against each other. Housel's focus on behavior and patience to survive uncertainty versus Simmons's method of modeling hidden patterns to exploit them. One seeks structure in noise, the other builds a life to survive it. Discover which method truly keeps you profitable when the world refuses to behave. The first book opens with a lesson about uncertainty. The world is too complex for simple stories, and luck and risk shape outcomes more than most people want to admit. That matters here because Housel's entire argument begins with a hard truth. You cannot control the market, only your response to it. The psychology of money keeps returning to the same idea from different angles. People do not make financial choices from pure logic. They make them from experience, fear, ego, and history. If you were raised during inflation, recession, or a market crash, your brain will treat risk differently than someone raised in a boom. That means the wrong way to use Housel's philosophy is to pretend you can forecast your way to certainty. If you constantly chase the next hot trade, the next perfect entry, or the next sure winner, you are acting as if the future is more knowable than it really is. The result is usually frustration, overconfidence, and bad timing. The right way to apply it is much more practical. Build a financial life that does not require perfect predictions. Save more, spend less, keep room for error. Accept that a lot can go wrong without destroying you. That does not mean you stop investing. It means you stop confusing confidence with control. Now compare that with the man who solved the market. Gregory Zuckerman's account does not deny uncertainty, but it shows Simon's behaving as if uncertainty itself can be studied, modeled, and exploited. Instead of saying the market is unknowable, so protect yourself, it says the market is messy, but mess still has patterns. And that difference changes everything. In The Man Who Solved the Market, Jim Simons does not become successful by listening to stories about the economy. He becomes successful by learning to search for structure in data, first in code breaking and later in financial markets. The book shows him moving from mathematics to cryptology to trading, always with the same instinct. If a system is generating outputs, there may be hidden rules behind it. That is the core ideology here. The market may look random, but it may not be purely random. So instead of asking, why is the market doing this? The method asks, what pattern is present and how do we profit from it? This is a huge contrast with the psychology of money. Housel says your best edge comes from humility about what cannot be known. Zuckerman's book says your edge may come from being more willing than others to treat the market as a pattern-rich system and let models do the work. The wrong way to use the second philosophy is to turn it into magical thinking. If you believe every market move can be decoded by brilliance alone, you will eventually overfit data, trade too much, and confuse back-tested elegance with real-world profit. Even Zuckerman's book is honest about the danger. It shows how early models were crude, how assumptions could be naive, and how difficult it was to turn theory into money. The right way is more disciplined. You look for repeatable signals, you test them, and you let evidence beat intuition when the evidence is strong enough. You do not need to know why the signal works to use it. You need to know whether it works often enough to matter. That is where the tension becomes interesting. The psychology of money says your financial life should be built around what you can control. The Man Who Solved the Market says your financial edge may come from learning how to exploit what others misunderstand about a system you cannot fully control. If the question is, how do you generate consistent wealth in a market that is inherently unpredictable? The psychology of money gives a very clear answer by making sure your survival does not depend on being right every time. Housel argues that savings rate matters enormously because wealth is not what you spend, wealth is what you keep. That matters because a lot of people focus on returns when they should be focusing on staying power. The wrong way to apply this is to treat wealth like a scoreboard. If you think wealth means visible luxury, you may spend your way into feeling rich while becoming less wealthy. A nicer car, a bigger house, or a flashier lifestyle may signal success, but they also reduce flexibility if they drain your cash. The right way is simpler and much more powerful. Build assets that buy you time, independence, and the ability to wait. That is Housel's strongest practical takeaway, and it is brutally useful in an unpredictable market. But the man who solved the market pushes back in an important way. It says that in some markets, broad behavioral discipline is not the whole story. Skillful pattern recognition can matter a lot. Simons does not just save and wait. He builds teams, data systems, models, and feedback loops to extract value from short-term inefficiencies. That suggests a hybrid conclusion already. If you are a normal person, Housel's book is the safer foundation. If you have exceptional data, talent, and systems, Zuckerman's book describes a more advanced attack. Imagine two people facing the same market panic. The first person follows the psychology of money. He sees the panic, does not try to outguess it, and keeps his strategy simple. He maintains cash, avoids ruin, and continues investing through the chaos. The result is not glamorous in the moment, but over time he benefits from staying in the game. The wrong version of this person is the one who reacts to fear by selling everything, freezing, or trying to perfectly time the bottom. That person turns uncertainty into paralysis. If the market then rebounds, he has turned volatility into a permanent loss. Now imagine the second person following the man who solved the market philosophy. He does not panic either, but he also does not assume the market is too random to study. He looks for recurring patterns, tests them, and uses probability rather than emotion. The result is a system that may produce an edge that a purely passive mindset would miss. The wrong version of this person is the one who believes every new data shape means a new edge. That person keeps inventing strategies that look brilliant in theory and fail in practice. In a market like this, overconfidence can be more dangerous than ignorance. This is the key contrast. The psychology of money is trying to protect you from the market's randomness. The man who solved the market is trying to profit from the market's imperfect randomness. One is defense first, the other is offense first. And that difference is not small. It defines how you behave when the market gets ugly, boring, or misleading. For most people, the psychology of money is the more practical operating system. That is because most people do not have the data, time, or resources to build a real market model, and they should not try to force one. Housel's ideas about saving, room for error, humility, and long time horizons apply almost everywhere. That does not make the man who solved the market less valuable. It means it is more specialized. Zuckerman's worldview is powerful because it shows how deep analysis can uncover edges that intuition misses, but it is not a casual recipe for the average investor. It is a book about how a rare kind of team turned markets into a research problem. So the rational answer is not one book is right and the other is wrong. The rational answer is that they solve different layers of the problem. If you are asking, how do I avoid being wiped out in a chaotic market, then the psychology of money is the better guide. If you are asking, how does a highly specialized team find repeatable edges in that same chaos, then the man who solved the market is the better guide. And if you want the most useful hybrid, it looks like this. Use Housel's book to build your base, then use Zuckerman's book's mindset only if you truly have the tools to test and execute it. That means saving hard, keeping room for error, respecting luck and risk, and never relying on one lucky forecast. But it also means not dismissing the possibility that data, models, and testing can reveal things the naked eye cannot see. So which philosophy is better for generating consistent wealth in an unpredictable market? For almost everyone, the safer and more durable answer is the psychology of money. Save aggressively, stay humble, keep room for error, and build wealth through control rather than prediction. But the man who solved the market shows that if you have elite tools, elite people, and a serious testing culture, the market can sometimes be approached like a machine that leaks patterns. The cleanest conclusion is this: you should live like Housel and only trade like Simons if you are truly built for it. And that is the real divide. One philosophy helps you survive uncertainty. The other tries to mine it.